I will start with one incident to then tell what I want to tell. You know, long back in the newspaper, there was one report of how one software engineer's career has come to a complete end, and that software engineer was working with a very good company, and then something happened. He got blamed for something by either by his family or by somebody, and he was sent to jail for 6 months, and he spent 6 months sitting in the jail for whatever crime he had done or whatever was the case. So 6 months he was in the jail, and then when he got out, he could not go back to his job even though the job was there, because he did not remember anything about his job at all. And the reason he gave was he forgot everything in those 6 months of sitting in complete idleness in a jail cell. He forgot everything. He forgot coding, he forgot everything. I will tell you something about, I will tell you one more incident. Once someone told me that there was a hiring of teachers going on, and teachers had come for an interview to get hired in a particular school. So those teachers were called for an interview on a particular day. So one day for one subject teachers were called, the other day for some other subject. And then one person said the security guard at the school premises was shocked that people, almost in the number of hundreds, maybe next to 300, 400 people, had turned up at the school for an interview to be a teacher in Hindi, Punjabi, English, and only 40 people or 35 people had turned up on the day there were interviews for the teacher for maths. So languages had 300, 400 people waiting in line to be hired as a teacher, and for maths there were just 35, 40 people standing in the queue to get hired as a teacher. See, I'm arriving at something. When I'm telling these instances, I'm arriving at something. This is the second instance where the queue for languages teacher is so huge and so many people become teachers for Hindi or Punjabi or for English. But for maths, there were just 35, 40 people. And then I will tell you a third instance. If you ask anybody who draws, who does painting, or who does drawing, artwork, they will tell you that if you draw regularly, you will get very good at your art. And then, if you go for a break, a very long break, maybe 6 months break, 1 year break, and when you come back, suddenly you will find your art has moved to a new level of brilliance. So, a break from your work takes you to the next level. This any artist will tell you. So, now let us relate these three instances and understand something. Why did that software engineer, after spending 6 months of idleness, complete idleness, of not reading anything about his work or coding or whatever that he was doing, in complete idleness, sitting for 6 months, how did he forget everything about his job or everything about his work? And he never regained that knowledge again. It never came back to him. Maybe some want to say in the jail he got tortured. He did not get tortured. I read the report incomplete. He was perfectly okay, but in 6 months he just completely forgot everything. And then some artist tells you that if you keep drawing, you get good at it. And if you go on a break and you come back, there is a new brilliance shining in your artwork. And then the third is there are naturally more people who are doing well in languages than in some difficult subject like maths. So, all I want to say here is people should, one, do what they are good at or what comes to them naturally. But increasingly, people are taking up subjects they are barely able to grasp. And with intense tuitions and some courses, highly paid courses, they clear exams with flying colors. And with some hand holding, mentoring, and people around, they keep paving their way through the jobs. And internally, they still don't have that orientation towards that subject. It doesn't come to them naturally. This world should function with majority of the people doing things or everybody doing what they're naturally inclined at. So if Maybe there are 1,000 people who are good at languages, then that is how it should be. And there is just maybe 4, 5, 10, 20 people who are supposed to be those rocket scientists, maths, and all, then that it should be. The problem is aggregating aggravated when people are taking tuitions. So even if somebody had no brains to be a rocket scientist or to be a math something, chemistry something, with doing tuitions, non-stop tuitions of 4 5 hours, they keep qualifying in these subjects and then become something in that field. There is no good coming to this world when so much conditioning is happening to people's mind. What would happen if, let's say, there are 100 people in a population, there are just 100 people, and out of that, 60 70 people are all about languages. They're just excelling at languages. And maybe 5 6 are good at maths naturally. Another 5 6 at physics, or 2 3 at whatever else, chemistry. Then that is how the world has to function. And world should then slow down because there is only so much development that can happen. Problem is when you start to condition and tuition a very big population which is not oriented towards such difficult and deep subjects. You are pushing for a artificial economic development. Somebody who had no orientation towards, let's say, physics or maths and things like those, with extreme pressure to do well and bring money or earn big money, will study these difficult subjects with tuitions and some expensive classes and become an engineer and build a bridge, which will be a low quality bridge because you never had the orientation towards these subjects to begin with, and your brain functions with only as much is told to you. So I come to the topic where tuitions are a norm. If you go to South Korea or any country, if you see, they're heavily on tuitions. People are taking, children are taking tuitions for 7, 7, 8, 8 hours to clear exams in maths and science and whatnot, and then do economic development. We can't, and we shouldn't do economic development so fast on minds which are not sharp or inclined towards these studies. I draw, and I have personally experienced this. When I don't draw and I get back to drawing maybe after 3 4 months, truly my artwork has jumped. It has gone to the next level. When I went to school, because it was a normal or it was seen as a good thing that everybody should take science in their high school or 11th and 12th, I landed up taking science, maths, and it was pure hell. I regretted it, hated it every day of my life. And somehow I scraped through those years, 2 years. And then I took up some very easy subjects, and life was beautiful. This constant pressure to be this engineers and physicists and chemists and whatnot comes because of the demand from the foreign countries for more engineers, for more whatever other difficult subjects are there, those students. And that is how immigration is happening, because the Western countries, along with other foreign countries, not just Western countries, other countries as well, they want to take as much highly educated manpower and keep pumping the economic development. So today we have some very garbage inventions also roaming around. And people now today lack common sense, because suddenly a great population is just working for money. And if they went without work for a lot of time, they would go in a brain freeze and not remember anything, because they're only been taught and conditioned, tuitioned, taught, conditioned, tuitioned. World over, I want tuitions to stop, because it is pumping in fake experts or people without any incline towards the subject. No matter who you are, if you study something at school and then clear it with good marks, then it's fine. But if you have to take tuitions, you're not good enough. Tuitions have to stop, and we should work with just handful of as many doctors or mathematicians or physicists and chemists and everybody else who are then in languages and some either easy subjects. That is how slow this world should move. We're moving too fast with economic development.